Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Virtual Touring Car Cup round number 6 here at the beautiful Ardennes forest that is Spa Francorchamps. My name is Chris Buxton and I'll be your commentator throughout this evening's race. Now, contrary to what I said last week, saying that I would not be live, that was the original intention. I was actually due to be in a different commentary this evening. However, I wasn't very well overnight, so I opted to play it safe and didn't want to chance it for t'other commentary. So pulled out of there, which meant I was free and able for tonight. And what a spectacle we have got for you lovely people this very eve. Right then. So we're back in the touring cars. We have done our stint in the Mercedeses from last week. Now, because of the track length, a bit of a monster here at Spa, the qualifying session is a little bit longer. It's a 20-minute qualifying session for the grid singular. One race. That's the other change for tonight. We're not having the 15-minute races. We have one 60-minute endurance race to determine the overall standing results. So everybody must make at least one mandatory pit stop, which will be validated post-race to make sure everybody obeyed that rule. Otherwise, disqualification is pending. Points awarded to the top 12 in the pros and top 10 in the AMs, which I think is everybody in the AMs, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. Bonus point for pole and bonus point for fastest lap, and any car in the touring car class is allowed. In the Pro Championship, then, bit of a shuffle up from last week. Still led by the mighty Jameson, 20 points ahead of Carl Benson, but Andrew Gillone had stormed through the order, although didn't get on particularly well with the Mercs last week. He was involved in an incident or two. So he is joined third with Gary Cooper on 34 and Toby Owen just a single point behind them on 33. Jay Daniels a single point back again on 32. Then Alex Rhodes on 28. Miles Dixon on 23. John Nobbs on 15, as is McCrae Williams. Right, our AM contingent. Colin Dunn has taken over the lead from Chris Callahan. Chris took over the lead for one round, I believe, of the AM Championship. That is now back in the hands of the blue and red shell-coloured BMW of Colin Dunn. Then Callahan in second, Matt Webb. Bit of a gap from second to third. Similar again, third to fourth between Matt Webb and Mark Holmes. Then David Garside in fifth, Adam Davies in sixth position, Kev Straw 7, Sean Morden 8, Simon Williams 9, and Adam Bent in 10th position. Now then, we've had a livery update. Some new names. Aaron Large, for instance, we saw last time out. That's the livery he's going to be running in. Also, Andrew Gillone is running his. He has told me it's a VTCC inspired livery, and I've forgotten the name of the driver it's inspired from. Sorry, Andrew. You may shoot me later. So that is what the liveries are going to look like moving forward. And these are our featured drivers for this eve. Miles Dixon isn't with us, unfortunately. He was not able to make it. So he's being replaced by Matt Charrington. Is Mr. Charrington with us? Let's have a double check of that. Matt Charrington is not yet. Although we do seem to be having some technical difficulty with the lobby, so hopefully we'll get that underway as quickly as we can. I can't see Matt Charrington now. He was on his way back from Brands this evening, from what I gather, so he was hoping to be able to join us. Alex Jameson, of course we know Mr. Jameson, and Adam Bent. I haven't had any information on Adam that I recall, but I did have a little bit about Alex, so we will talk about later on. Canada still unchanged from where we started from. Here we are, round number 6. At the beautiful Spa, we head to Bonneau next time out next week, and we finish back at Silverstone in its modern day layout for these wonderful touring cars. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, we are still waiting, as you can see, to get the lobby underway. So let's head to the music whilst we... Actually, before we do that, I'm just going to give you the little bit of information that Mr. Jameson gave me. Perfectly timed, because we're just heading to trackside. So he said, here's a bit of information about me. Born in Cape Town, South Africa, moved to the UK permanently in 2018, currently working at McLaren Automotive. I meant to ask him what he does there. He has told me before and I've completely forgotten. Always loved motorsport, but never had the finances to race in real life. So started sim racing in June 2019, so here we are. 1 year. That's all he's been doing sim racing for. And that was my exasperation back to him. I said, Christ alive, you've only been doing this a year. And his answer to that was, what can I say? I've always had a knack for anything with 4 wheels virtual in real life. I'll say, good Lord, only a year he's been doing this for. But that just goes to show what natural ability is worth. We are heading to the track now, so let me get my necessary windows in the correct place. And then we can get the show on the road. Just waiting for the lobby to load in, everybody to load up. And there we go, 21 drivers join us for this evening. Let's get rid of that. Let's get that in place. As we look at Toby Owen, yet to get his McGann. Someone has gotten underway. It's not Mark Holmes in the Astra. Gary Cooper is underway, being shoved along, but I think that's Adam Davies in the redesigned BMW behind him. Oh, that's David Garside. I remember that livery fondly. You do get that kind of ghosting effect whilst you're leaving the pits, of cars being inside one another. As I just realised, I haven't got my track map handy, but I'm fairly familiar with Spa Francorchamps. Though I'm not going to take the chance. I'm going to chicken out and I'll have the track map handy just in case I need to refer to it. Okay, hope you're all well. And thank you very much to those that are joining us live for the stream, and thank you for those that caught up with us post-event. All are always welcome here. Right then, let's have a rundown of who we have got, shall we? So, as mentioned, we have got Mark Holmes. He is in the Astra, you can see, in the white and red flashed car, number 15. Then it is Gary Cooper, car number 76, bright red Renault. It's Nick Bailey, Scuzzle Motorsport, number 29. Master Ron is Aaron Large. Oh, it's very yellow. Okay, didn't really get how bright that livery was. It didn't look as ups. And now, funny enough, I did exactly that when I was having some practice laps earlier. You just touch that outside line coming into No Name Corner. I know it's I think it's sometimes called Commentator's Corner or something like that, but it's commonly referred to as No Name Corner. But that outside edge, just coming down from Rivage, and it will just spin you. It's very, very very unforgiving. McRae Williams in the anime, I'm assuming it's still anime flavoured. Yes, it is. Car number 56 is the Renault of McRae Williams. Alex Rhodes. Now Mr. Rhodes very kindly changed his name as such to RHO Alex Rhodes, so we don't have 2 ALEs on the scoreboard. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. Graphics god Alex Rhodes. And that's been redesigned as well, his car. It doesn't quite look as blood splattered as it did last time. He changed the white to the black. I very much like that. There is David Garside, the Mistral Motorsport number 44. That looks glorious in any day or weather. Absolutely marvellous. There's Matt Webb in the grey and blue accented Renault. Gummy Bear. Now, that is Brendan van Heeden. Will the South African have any luck? And his livery's changed as well. I noticed that he's actually got the South African flag in the middle of the sponsor on the door. Now, admittedly, I didn't have time to look over the liveries for this week. As I say, I was due to be... Oh, dear! That is Kev Straw, I believe. That has binned it at the top of Eau Rouge, at the top of Radion. I knew I'd get that wrong at some point. That's very, very easy to do. That is Simon Williams. Oh dear, there's another car up there. Someone's pulled over. Look at it. Simon Williams in the Astra. Jay Daniels in his orange and blue Renault, being chased hard by Alex Rhodes. Through Eau Rouge and up and over Radion. Now the track limits are a little bit inconsistent when it comes to the top of Rivage. Goodness me. Come on, Buxton. At the top of Radion, as you can go quite a long way off the road. And not be penalised for some reason. Kev Straw, we just saw him have an argument with the wall. Now, it does show his car is being damaged. It isn't, because he's just come out of the pits, but the physical damage, or visible damage on the car does not change. Andrew Gillone in the Scottish flavoured BMW. Does that not look magnificent? Absolutely superb. Rank dropper Carl Benson, still in the British flavoured lead sim racing number 71. The Renault. Beautiful it is. There is Sienna Viper. Adam Davies. Hello to you. Let's see if I can get your name right. I was the snake on the side as well. Now that's fantastic. Again, all our livery work is done by Alex Rhodes, and he's done a fantastic job. The mighty Jameson in the M Sport flavoured number 3 car. Oh, getting the tail loose as he coming through Les Combes. Sean Morton, welcome back to you, sir, in the grey and green accented Renault. It's our AM leader, it's Colin Dunn, Mr. Fishwick himself, in the blue and green aqua flavoured BMW. That is Adam Bent. Wow, that's no denying where you're from, sir. As we start to get some times on the board. A 2:29 from Andrew Gillone. Have a heart, man. My goodness me. That, if I remember correctly, would actually be the record in Project Cars 2 for a default setup. Now, I'm assuming that Andrew is not running a default setup. That's a stormer. The non-default setup, the custom setup time wasn't that much quicker. 2:29. That's a stormer. And amazing work from Brendan to only be 3/10 behind. Carl Benson flying through Les Combes. Oh, well. Toby Owen with a 2:30.3. That's a cracking time. To put it in context, I turned about 5 or 6 laps in a default setup BMW, and the best I could manage was a 2:34. So that's an absolute stormer. There's Nick Bailey. Where is Rhodes? Jameson rather. There he is, just coming over the line. A 2:30.0, but he's got a lot of traffic right ahead of him, and namely in the form of Kev Straw. And he's jumped back to pits. There's Mr. Straw, yet to get a time on the board. I think we have introduced everybody. 21 of our drivers with us this eve. A few names not with us. Say Matt Charrington, not with us. Oops, Miles Dixon as well. John Nobbs again is missing. Jack Dan is not with us. Who else is missing? Chris Callahan, I haven't seen you. Oh yes, there you are. Chris Callahan, there he is. Oh, I didn't mention David. Oh yes, I did mention David Garside. Beg your pardon. I'm just trying to think who else might not be with us this eve. Ollie Sai isn't with us. And that, I think, is the list I know of absentees. The poll time at the moment, that 2:29, is flat from Mr. Gillo. Now, Andrew did say to me last week, I think it was, that he was not particularly looking forward to Spa. Spa's a bit of a bogey track for him, apparently. I guess no one told him that. It looks like he's backed off from the tail of Jay Davies now. We don't want to back off too much. It was Alex Rhodes we just saw at the bottom of the shot. Simon Williams yet to set a time. And that's a very steady run through Les Combes. Kev Straw. Oh, that's the Fania chicane. Coming down towards Stavelot. Let's follow you through the rest of your lap as you continue to have an argument with... Who's the other one running the Merc? I've already gone and forgotten. My memory is that bad. Oops! It's not going to be the ideal way of doing a quali lap. The two silver Mercs side by side. I even remarked on the Welsh livery and I've forgotten who it is. How terrible of me is that? Everybody except for David Garside on track at the moment. Already half the qualifying session is gone and only a few, they've only would have done 2 or 3 time laps, so that's why the qualifying session was extended for this round. Oops, that's not an ideal way of taking the chicane. What does Kev Straw again on the board? There's Gary Cooper is invalidated lap. A2.36.2 for Kev Straw. Jameson with that 2:30.0 now with free track ahead of him, but this is an out lap for him. We did see him jump back to the pits last time around. Let's ride on board our championship leader, shall we? No one with the penalty, which is good to see. So Jameson just prepping himself, getting a steady line through the final chicane, and away we go. Yellow flag out there somewhere, but not in front of Alex Jameson. Let's follow him through a lap of this wonderful circuit. Over the line and storming towards La Source. Heavy on the brakes, down to second. Early apex for Alex is the best way of dealing with him. It's very easy to go too deep and lose a lot of time because you're on the gas for a long, long time. Down the hill towards Eau Rouge. Now you can do Eau Rouge. I was just listening to the throttle there. That didn't really sound like there was a lift there. If you get the line right, you don't need to. Beautifully balanced car. Through Radion. Onto the Camel Straight. Anyone that's got a slipstream will really utilise it here. Heavy on the brakes just at the point where the rumble strip appears on the left. And he slides us too much. My goodness me, if you set up a blinding lap with that massive slide on there, Jameson, I'd be stunned. That would have definitely cost him time. A little bit too high to Lake On. Now down the hill towards Rivage. Or Bruxelles, I believe this corner used to be known as. Gillone has done a 28.9. My goodness me, stunning lap times from the BMW Scotsman. Through No Name Corner, turn 9, now towards Pouon. A very difficult corner to get right at the best of times. Down one gear, and just it sounded like he went down 2 indeed. Now he doesn't chance the rumble strip on the outside, does Jameson. Heavy on the power towards the Fania chicane. Down to third. Get the nose in. Doesn't look like the nose wants to behave itself, but he then gets a great four-wheel slide on the exit. That seems to be his way of doing things. Stavilo. Now curve Paul Frey. Flat out if you get the line right. And then it's the mighty Blanchimont. Heavy on the gas and maybe a little bit of a lift if you need to. Let's see if he does. He won't lift here. It'll be on the next part of the turn. Does he lift? Like hell, does he? He absolutely floored that. Now towards the chicane. That's David Garside, I think. Oh no, it might be Nick Bailey actually ahead of us. Couldn't quite see. Nicely done. Very early on the gas then. Let's see what the time is. 2:30.0. His previous time. Does Jameson improve? He does in time and not position, amazingly. 2:29.459. It looked a pretty decent lap, except I reckon he was a bit hot into Lake Com. So that would have cost him time. Did it cost him half a second? Could well have done. Could well have done. But Gillone is still lapping out there. Where is he? Cameraman is looking in completely the wrong direction. He is chasing our AM leader. He is chasing Colin Dunn through Blanchimont. It's not a bad place to get a bit of slipstream. You don't need the downforce there. And that was I think that was a flash of the lights from Colin Dunn to say go for it. Oh, that would have compromised Gillone's line though. He could have done with making that pass a little bit earlier. But he's still got time to do a couple of laps. Has he got the fuel loads? Bring up the speedo? Yeah, he's got loads of fuel on board. Chucks it in now. It looked like Andrew went for a bit of an earlier apex on the chicane than Alex did. Does it improve? 28.914. No improvement for Gillone as he's going to pull over and jump back to the pits. Still a stunning time. Well, no, he's not. Oh, yes, it was. Why is the camera that close? Brendan Van Heeden set some amazing quality pace. We just had terrible luck in the race pretty much every single week. 29.364 needs 4/10 to get towards the top spot, and no improvement there. Where is Jameson? That's the Fania chicane, and he's got Nick Bailey ahead of him, as well as the second Merc runner who's trying to chuck his car a little bit awkwardly to Stavilo. Yeah, that didn't quite work. Oh, it's that. Oh no, it's not Carl Benson at all. It's not Sienna Viper, which is Adam Davies. I've totally forgotten who the Welsh livery car is. I wholeheartedly apologise for that. We have lost one. We have lost one from our ranks, unfortunately, down to 20. And you've got a couple of minutes, mystery driver, to return. Jameson storming towards the chicane, but he probably would have lost some time in the traffic. Alex is a very, very aggressive driver by his own admission. Any improvement? It was a tiny improvement, even with all the traffic. 29.379. 15 thousandths of a second behind Brendan Van Heeden. Who's got themselves a penalty? Simon Adams. I did it again. Simon Williams. I must 100 lines on the blackboard. Simon Williams. He's got himself a one-place grid penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh no, it was track limits apparently, but usually you get the grid place penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But he could have flown off the road and not slowed down enough. Gillone is still going. Well, most people are doing, except for Toby Owen's coming back out on track for one last banzai. Jay Daniels is still in the pits along with McRae Williams, Matt Webb. If they come out soon, they might just about have enough time to do their out lap and one-time lap. What does Gillone improve? I think he's had a fairly clear track for most of his lap. Not quite see who is that ahead of him. Can't tell from there. Storms towards the chicane. It's such a delicate touch to keep the tail under control. I was bouncing around like a conga line when trying to get a decent lap out there. No improvement for Gillone. Toby Owen, we've just seen him come out. Oh, Adam Davies, that's an interesting line going through Eau Rouge. Keeps going. Chris Callahan. 233.137 sees him in the middle of the pack. In 10th position. Come on, cameraman, keep up with me. There we go. There's Mr. Fishwick. Colin Dunn. The number 19 car. That is the Ravage. At the top of the hill. Sweeps through the no-name turns. Quite easy to go too wide there as you're drifting quite happily. Well, you're drifting happily if you're getting it right. I can't quite see who that is behind him. Quite a lot of opposite lock coming into Pouan. You see just how reluctant his car was to sort of maintain the slide, and it is a very difficult corner to get right. Now, whilst we are seeing bigger gaps in between our relevant, our competitors. Oh wow! As Mr. Van Heeden has made an improvement on his time to a 229.254. He's been chased by the pole man Gillone. Well, even though the gaps are generally bigger, that's because the lap time is that much longer. So percentage-wise, they're not too bad. Here is Carl Benson, race winner in this series. 231.243 sees him in 5th position. Alex Rhodes is kicking a bit of dust there, is Mr. Benson. Alex Rhodes is done for the day. He will not improve with that 232.055. McRae Williams is not returning. Matt Webb hasn't returned to the pits. And Kev Straw is not. Neither is... that's our Welsh liveried warrior. It's Adam Bent. You must remember that. Our lost driver is Mark Holmes. That's who we've lost from our race tonight. Gillone. Pole time 2:28.914 improves by 0.2 to a 2:28.715. Van Heeden is back in the pits. Oh, that's why he's hit something pretty hard, pretty fast. Jameson, does he improve? 2:29.379. No improvement. It is do or die, all or nothing, famine or feast for Jameson now. If anybody can, he certainly can. My control pad is causing my menu to go nuts. Let's sort that out. There we go. Toby Owen we saw coming out of the pits earlier on. He's coming through Pouon on what I suspect is his timed lap. 20 seconds until the checkered flag falls. Most of the... yeah, I'd say at least half the field are still in the pits. So they will not improve from their time. Through the family chicane for Toby. Down towards Stavilo. 2:30.3 on the board for him. He's a second behind Gillone. Or a second and a half behind Gillone. He's a second behind Jameson, I should say. And it's I thought it was another fastest lap from Gillone then. There's Jameson. He's still at the top of the mountain. Let's follow Toby Owen through the remainder of his lap as he is coming through Blanchimont now. He's got 1.6 to find. As there was a change down here, possibly Nick Bailey or Simon Adams. Didn't quite see who it was. Alex Rhodes. It's oh no, big pardon. That's Mazda Ron. That's Aaron Large is still going. We'll have a look at him in a minute. Here comes Toby Owen. 2:30.3. Does he improve from 4th position? He does not. He remains where he is. Oh no! Gillone's lagged. Oh, he had a huge problem there. That would have either been a big lag or a game spike, something like that, or game freeze. So that has seen the end of Andrew Gillone's lap. Here comes Jameson. Benson still on track. That's coming through Pouon. Gary Cooper, no, his day is done. Here comes Aaron Large over the line. 2:33.354 does not improve. That is 12th position. Nick Bailey and Simon Adams in that particular line. Here comes Jameson. Just 3 still on a time lap. 2:29.379. Jameson darts towards the line. Does he improve? He does in time, but not positioned at 2:29.298. Still sees him in 3rd. My goodness me. There is Carl Benson, sweeping through Blanchimont himself. Can he dethrone Andrew Gillone? Nice slide on the 8 of Blanchimont there. Keeps the foot very planted to the floor. Now heavy on the brakes, down to 2nd gear. Get it slowed down, bit of a lock up there. Throws it through, very nicely done. A little bit of apex just as he comes through the chicane. 2:31.243, 5th position. Does he improve? Over the line sideways. I suspect he wasn't going to improve, which is why he chucked his car over the line as such. And it is Andrew Gillone on the front by half a second. What a stunning lap from Gillone. Then to Brandon Van Heeden in the 2nd position. Row 2 is Jameson and Toby Owen. Row 3 is Carl Benson and Gary Cooper. Row 4, Alex Rhodes and Jay Daniels. Row 5 is Adam Davies and Chris Callahan. Row 6, Colin Dunn and Aaron Larch. Row 7 is McRae Williams and Matt Webb. Row 8 is Sean Morton and Kev Straw. Row 9 is Nick Bailey and would have been Simon Williams had he not had the gross penalty, 1-place penalty. So that's going to demote him to 1 spot, and David Garside will start 18th. And at the tail of the field is the Welsh bannered Mr. Adam Bent. Right, 20 cars make it through the transition. 24 laps is what this hour-long race has been calculated at. So that is what we are going to run. There is Gillone taking the top spot, and there is Brandon Van Heeden alongside. So now they have the obligatory 2-minute countdown to load in their race setups, make any alterations that the cars will allow them to do, and anything they see fit to change. Now is the time to do it. And then it is 1 hour, so they don't have the luxury of, well, if it goes wrong in this race, I at least have race number 2 or race number 3 to make up the time. Nope, not a chance. It is just 1 hour, 24 laps of Spa. And let me tell you, that is difficult. This is not a forgiving track. It may well have runoff areas, but to get the best out of Spa is difficult. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we have a bit of a penalty fest in this particular race. Now, there is a disqualification limit. If a driver does clock up 30 seconds worth of penalties, I've seen it done, then they will be disqualified. I've seen it happen. In the likes of iRacing, for instance, the incident limit, as opposed to a time limit, I've seen exceeded many times. So it's quite an unforgiving track. Track limits are a little bit odd in some places. For instance, at the top of Ardennes, the track limits do get a bit odd. But it's just the single race for this evening. 1 hour of Spa. Here we go. Everybody is ready up. We are ready to roar into life in the Ardennes Forest. It is time to wind them up and let them. Who's going to get a great start? Oh, 2 jump starts, and that's a stonking start from Gillone and from Jameson. Has Alex Jameson finally overcome his starting gremlins? It's a horrid start, though, from Brendan Van Heeden. Huge move from Adam Davies that has backfired badly as he's flown off the road and La Source down through. Now this is where Jameson is going to pick up an almighty great slipstream when they get up to the Camel Straight. Let's just check at the back. Kev Straw. Looks like everybody has made it through okay initially, but look at that. The top 2 beamers of Jameson and Gillone are trying to break away from Brendan Van Heeden. Whoa, that was very close to the wall, Mr. Who was that was close to the wall? I've completely. It was Carl Benson that was getting close to the wall. Lots of fidgeting going on further back. Oh my goodness, Brendan Van Heeden. Really looking to put the pressure on Jameson, who hasn't had a good run through Les Combes. This is exactly what Gillone wants. He wants Jameson under pressure, but Alex Jameson is a difficult man to put under pressure at the best of times. But it does look like Brendan Van Heeden, the new livery on the Renault, has meant he has survived the opening corners. Have I just Commentator cursed him? We will see. In 4th is Carl Benson. 5th, Toby Owen. Bit of a gap forming from the top 3 to the rest. Also a gap forming about 1.8 seconds or so between Rhodes and Toby Owen. Alexander Rhodes has got a lot of company right behind him. There's Gary Cooper, Aaron Large, Adam Davies, Colin Dunn and Matt Webb, all in that string of cars. Then another 3-way battle going on with David Garside, Jay Daniels, McRae Williams, someone flying miles off the road. That was Adam Bent, who's had a fairly decent start, actually, to be up into 16th position. Oh, Sean Morton's had trouble. That car doesn't look like it wants to steer straight. He's had trouble early on, but Jameson has lost that 2nd place. But it does look like, I bet you what's happened is that Brendan Van Heeden's made the move on the inside of Stavolo and didn't get the necessary pace he needed to maintain it. Oh, Jameson got really squiggly on the exit of Blanchimont. He's trying to give the necessary racing room, but that compromised his line. Ooh, and an impact on the tail of Jameson from Brendan Van Heeden. That's actually allowing, there he is, it's Carl Benson to catch up. Message received, Mr. Holmes. We appreciate you trying to make the effort, but of course family stuff must come first. We look forward to seeing you again very soon. Gillo now with a 1.3 second lead from Jameson, who has got Brendan Van Heeden all over his tail. Not far behind is Carl Benson. Then it's another 1.5 seconds before we find Toby Owen, who's now got 3 seconds between himself and Gary Cooper now, who's gone up into 6th position. Oh, we did see damage to Sean Morton's car. Did not want to steer. Oh, trouble! Oh, big trouble! That's David Garside. Oh my goodness, huge impact there between Garside and Adam Davies. Oh no, 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 no. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, the stewards are going to be looking at that one. And again, whilst I've looked away, that's a slipstream effort on the Camel Straight that has given Brendan Van Heeden 2nd place on board with Carl Benson. And Jameson does not look like he's having a good time. Now, we did see impact on the tail of the BMW. You can see that the back end is a little bit rearranged. How much of a difference it will make, not entirely sure. It will cause the tail to misbehave, and exactly there in Pouon, you saw the pace has lost him. Here comes Benson. Is he going to try and make a move on the inside of the final chicane? No. He knows better than to try it there. Great three-way scrap here, but it does look like... Oh, is Benson going to try and move on the inside of Stabilo? He's gone for it. He's committed to the move. Cameraman's looking the wrong way. Can he get the momentum he needs? Now, this is what Benson tried a lap ago, and he couldn't quite hold it. Benson, side by side with Jameson. Can't quite hold it, though. Alex getting the exit he needs from Curve Paul Frey. But that's cost him time. That has cost him time on Brendan Van Heeden. Now, I'd be very surprised if that little tap on the tail of the car is causing him that much damage, but it might, well, it won't be causing him damage in terms of top speed. Oh, but it's causing him problems in car stability. As Jameson's gone too deep, but so did Carl Benson. And here comes Toby Owen. Toby Owen's looking to get involved in this fight. He can see the lead from where he is. Fantastic. Well, not for Alex Jameson, but it's fantastic from us. But look at this lot, though. Gary Cooper, Aaron Large, Alex Rose. Is that Cooper that's gone deep? He's gone a little bit deep, but that's not too bad. I heard the engine revs die there, but he'll get away with that. Rhodes really on the tail. Oh, Rhodes has hit the wall. Rhodes clouted the wall. He was trying to cut that line a little bit too fine. Adam Davies is in the pits. That is not a surprise. Along with David Garside. We saw them have their own incidents. What's happened to Simon Williams, I wonder? Oh, that's the cameraman looking the wrong way. McCrae Williams, lovely slipstream on the tail of Jay Davies. Jay Daniels, I'm making up names everywhere now. And Jay Daniels, he knew that one was done. And up into 11th for McCrae. A great three-way scrap here. This is Colin Dunn, Alex Rhodes and McCrae Williams for 8th place. Not too far up the road, actually, is Aaron Large and Gary Cooper. It's a lovely scrap for me here. Got to be careful of that inside apex at Rivage. It will unsettle your car. Oh, that was a little bit late turning in there for Matt at No Name Corner. But on they go down the hill. Look at this. Gillone is a couple of seconds up in the lead now. See what I mean with penalties. We're only on lap 3. Brendan's got 2. Colin's got 1. Alex Rhodes has 20, amazingly. As does Adam Davies. Adam Davies is in the pits. I'm not entirely sure how he's managed that one. Now, the time penalties can be reviewed by the stewards post-race. They're not absolutely set in stone. However, if they do push you towards a disqualification limit, I think the disqualification limit more refers to track limits. Oh, Aaron Large. Gary Cooper's slowing down. He's trying to undo the slowdown warning. He doesn't want the penalty in the first place. Quite wise. But jumping up to Jameson. Does he have an answer to Brendan Van Heeden? Brendan is quick. We have seen this. But he's just been hideously unlucky. But he's got to open up at least 2 seconds. And that is from now. If we go again, check in the penalties. He's got to open up a 2-second penalty. A 2-second gap, rather, to Alex Jameson, which is no easy feat. Damage on the back of Jameson's car does look like he's causing trouble. There's David Garside that's just rejoined the track. Get out of the throttle, David. There you go. So Garside's rejoined the track right in the midst of the leaders. Oh, that's Alex Rose in the pits. Now, again, a reminder, there is a mandatory pit stop for this race. That's David Garside. Even though I told the game to give me Alex Jameson. There we go. Oh, Jameson thinking about an inside manoeuvre. Coming into Les Calm on Brendan Van Heeden, but no. Brendan had a terrible lap, 2:34. Well, that's as quick as I can do, so it's a pretty good lap. Oh, someone had a problem there. Yep, Garside spun. I wonder if David Garside was trying to keep out of people's way. I saw flying bollards and an engine rev that died there, but I think he's trying to get out of people's way. Long, long, long way to go, though. Toby Owen on the back of Carl Benson for 4th place. That was Alex Rose. He's still in there. He must have had a lot of damage to deal with as well. Jameson still trying to keep Brendan Van Heeden company. Gillone just doing what he needs to do. Gillone can go quicker than that, but he's very much a driver that will go to what he needs to as opposed to what he can potentially do lap on lap on lap. Was that someone parked on the roadside? We have lost a driver from the race, unfortunately. And Alex Rhodes now coming back out on track after a lengthy pit stop. Oh dear! Has Benson made a mistake? As Gillone rather made a mistake? Because suddenly the proxy warning is there for Van Heeden and Gillone. If he did, it wasn't too big a mistake. At the moment, Jameson doesn't seem to have an answer to Brendan Van Heeden. 3.5 seconds back now to Carl Benson, but Carl's got company from Toby Owen. Stay on board with Jameson for a minute and see how the top three pan out. Big amount of wheel spin there for Brendan Van Heeden to get out of the chicane. Let's check what the lap times were. 30.6 to 29.7. So no, it wasn't a mistake from Gillone at all. It's Brendan Van Heeden really starting to get the hammer down. Again, the fastest lap on the board as well. So now Gillone is going to have to up his pace. If, of course, he can. Well, he certainly can. We saw him doing the 28s in the qualifying. Of course, the cars are full of fuel. Just to give you an idea, they've got that much. Well, that's not full of fuel. They can carry more than that, I think. But they are considerably more fuel than they would have qualified on. So, Toby Owen getting a little bit squeaky. Well, again, because they're not in default setups, they will have different fuel loads. Let's have a look. 36.6 for Andrew Gillone. 35. So it'll be maybe on a similar amount, but not necessarily identical. 36. 34. 35. 36. Oh, there's a bit of fidgeting going on. That's Garside again being... Remember, he's been through the pit, so he will have a full fuel tank. And a very, very cracked windscreen. So most people are around the 36 area. So it looks like everybody's had a similar idea and started with the same amount of fuel. Could be a full tank in these cars. And Brendan Van Heeden has given himself a 1.3 second gap between himself and Jameson. Wow, wow, wow. There you go. That's what 1.5 seconds looks like in these cars. It's generally we are looking to the back of Jameson's car, not from Jameson's car. But as we've just lost another from the race, unfortunately. Oh, that is close now. 0.3 of a second between Andrew Gillone and Brendan Van Heeden. BMW versus Renault, rear-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive. Scotland versus South Africa, if we want to keep taking that analogy further. As the race now settles down. The field has spread out rather a lot. Down to 18 drivers. We've lost 3 from the race. Oh, it did look like Brenda was thinking about an inside manoeuvre into the chicane. Oh, Gillone was a bit deep there. He's going to compromise his exit. Oh, don't wander too far off the line. So, Toby's still chasing Carl Benson pretty well. But the rest of the field has very much spread out, checking the timings. Some of that due to pit stops, some of it kind of, down to hard racing. Let's keep an eye on our lead battle at the moment. As Gillone's had a pretty decent exit from the source to open up a 7/10 gap. That's the cameraman getting lost. Unfortunately, can happen when someone leaves the lobby. Some of the camera positions seem to get a little bit upset for some reason. And there you can see that the slipstream is doing nothing for Carl Benson. He's a little bit too far back to take advantage of it. So Gillone, again, is doing exactly what he needs to do. But, wow, suddenly Brendan Van Heeden just closed him right in again. It did look like Andrew Gillone had a bit of an odd line through Les Combes, so he was probably a little bit deep coming into it, or didn't have a good line through it. Either way, he's now got the gummy bear all over his tail as Kev Straw is in the pits. And Alex Rhodes has found the company of Adam... well, I say the company of Adam Davies. The Sienna Viper has just let him go. So So no battle forming there. That's the view. Well, that's the view from Brendan. He's been seeing that Scottish flavoured BMW get closer, get further away, get closer, get further away. He's trying a bit of a different line. We either tried a different line intentionally or not through the Fanny chicane. Didn't really do anything for or against. 2.2 seconds now between himself. Oh, well, 2.5 seconds or so between himself and Jameson. Very, very surprising. That does not mean Jameson will not come back with a storm later on. Through Blanchimont once again. Now, our top guys have not pitted. Quite a few drivers have, a bit earlier than I was expecting. Into the bus stop chicane. I still go to the bus stop even though it's not referred to as that anymore. See the lap times this time around. 2:29.7, 2:30.0, 2:30.8 for the top three, as that is Carl Benson bringing his Renault in. Oh, Matt Webb has caught the back of Aaron Large. Aha! We have some battles forming again. Oh, that lull didn't last too long, in fairness. Nick Bailey on the back of Jay Daniels. And a lost cameraman again. And again, Gillo's done it again. He's had a real storming run from La Source through Eau Rouge and Radion. What that does is it doesn't open up the gap too much between himself and Brendan Van Heiden. It just stopped him getting any slipstream at all. And the slipstream is very, very strong. Ooh, but there you can see the tail of the BMW get very, very loose through Lacombe. And Brendan has a storming line through there and closes back in on Gillo. This is going to be a fantastic battle. If they pit at the same time, that is going to be a potential battle to the line, to the flag. Again, there's slightly different ways of taking that no-name corner for those two, I notice. It seems to be working for them. You know, difference in setups, difference in cars. Front-wheel drive against rear-wheel drive, setup differences. Oh, Garside's in the pits again. This race has not gone well for the Mistral coloured. Oh, that was a bit deep into Fanny chicane, I think, for Andrew Gillo. And that's allowed Benson knew I'd do that. Brendan Van Heiden to get right under his rear wing. Ooh, just as Brendan bounces off that apex, it slightly unsettles the car, but it doesn't matter. He's close enough to keep the slipstream there, but the slipstream's not quite as useful in Blanchimont as it is in the Kemmel Straight. And Gillo's positioned in his car just exactly where he needs to do. Sweep through the exit of Blanchimont. And again, just, you know, the BMW taking that wider line than the Renault. And I think this is also just Brendan just keeping his car in the mirrors of Andrew Gillo. Ooh, very, very close still. And now Brendan knows that Andrew's been stronger than him from here all the way down to Lacombe. But what can he do? That's going to be the Oh, that's what he can do. He can force a mistake on Andrew Gillone. He had a bad run through the source, and there's David Garside just coming out of the pits, right in front of Alex Jameson. Oh, now Brendan Van Heiden's much closer to Gillone this time. It was 8/10 last lap. No such luck for Gillone this time. Into the slipstream for the Renault. Now, is Andrew going to defend, or is he just going to let him go? No! Brendan Van Heiden still can't draw alongside. My goodness. Andrew Gillone's such a master of maintaining this pressure. We've seen it before with Jameson piling, Snetterton in particular, where it was Gillone and Jameson. Was Brendan Van Heiden thinking about an inside line there? No. That door gets very much closed in Brendan Van Heiden's face. Excuse me. Oh, you may hear me taking a bit of a drink. I have been a little bit unwell today, which is what caused my change of plan in the first place, as previously mentioned. Oh, there's David Garson at the top of the shot. Oh, That is very close between Brendan and Andrew coming through Puon. I wouldn't want to be that close coming through that corner. It's a difficult corner to get right. I want to look at these other battles. Matt Webb on Aaron Large, Jay Daniels on Nick Bailey, and Simon Williams as well on the back of McRae. But this battle is so close. Jameson now 3.5 seconds behind. Oh, is this an opportunity? Surely this is a chance now for Brendan Van Heeden to get alongside and ahead of Andrew Gillone. But the BMW, the Scotsman, is not giving up on that in the slightest. He got the exit of dreams from Paul Frey and has managed to fend off the Renault. That is incredible. He knew that the Renault was going to draw alongside and just got the exact exit he needed. That's got to be quite frustrating for Brendan, but it's got to be... Oh, and that's deep again for Andrew Gillone. But Brendan has not been able to use that extra momentum. But what that's doing is it's giving Jameson a chance to close in on them. So 31s for the top two and a 30.5 for Jameson. So he gains 6 to 7 tenths on the top two. Too many laps like that and Jameson's going to be right in this pack. And that is the last thing these two need. Down the hill once again. Still on board with Brendan Van Heeden. Oh, Gillone's got himself a bit of a gap this time. And I think it might be safe for me to look away because I reckon he's going to maintain that. Cameraman's lost again anyway. Now, Aaron Large and Matt Webb have been in a scuffle for 6th place. There in the background is Nick Bailey. He's not far behind. That looks like Nick. Oh, it is. I didn't think that was 6 seconds, but there we go. So, Mazda Ron, or Aaron Large, is about 1.3 behind Matt Webb now, so he's lost a bit of time coming through La Source. It's a bit of a shame, because that made that rather anticlimactic. Back up to the battle for the lead then. It's Chris Callahan. Looks like he's getting close to Jay Daniels. It was for a moment there. You saw the proximity warming. Looks like Jay Daniels had a bad lap last time around, and now we have back markers to deal with for our lead pair. That looks like Kev Straw. That is indeed Kev Straw. Oh, Kev, bleed out the throttle, and he did. Whoa, that caught Brendan out a little bit. I thought Brendan would have expected that, really, because Kev was doing exactly the right thing. He bled out the throttle at about the right time, I'd say. The only other thing he could have done was gone to the inside line a bit earlier, but whoops, as he's jumped off the road, it's because Jameson's there. Or he's overshot, he's overshot Stavolo. Here we go again. Brendan Van Heeden on Andrew Gillone. Andrew Gillone's had a hell of a lot of camera time in this series. Brendan Van Heeden is having the race of his life at the moment. And does he need... Oh, he deserves a good result. He's shown amazing pace so many times. It's really good to see the Gummy Bear, the South African, doing a great job of keeping one of the front runners of this series under serious pressure. Oh! He got out of shape there. He went to go, but I think he underestimated the braking position. I don't know quite what he did. He got himself out of position and had to bail. You saw he went behind Gillone and then had to jump out, basically, from behind him. Very wise decision, because it did look like he was going to plough through the BMW and ruin both the race. So that was well read in the end there by Brendan Van Heeden to prevent an incident there, as the cameraman's lost again. There's our top three. There's Kev Straw, who's a lap down. And again, Brendan. Oh, that was a really late move. And that has backfired on the South African quite badly. That was really, really late. Well driven by both of them. That could have been a very nasty accident there. And Jameson was probably wishing it was, because he doesn't seem at the moment, unless he's just biding his time. Fuel usage I've just seen is not on. So the fuel usage thing I was looking at earlier is totally irrelevant. Except for the fact they will refuel when they come around again. As you can see there, It looked like it did say 70 litres. Remember that. They will refill when they come into the pit box, so they will get a full tank, like it or not. Van Heeden and Gillon continue their fight for the lead. Well, slightly different line coming through the Fanny chicane there. And I think that's partly down to Van Heeden just trying different lines to do something to get Gillon out of his rhythm. Oh, that's so close. Incredibly close between the two. Reach out and grab hold of the BMW from there. We go onto the bonnet view. You can pretty much see inside the exhaust system at the BMW. Oh, I thought he was going to think about an inside dive there, which would have been disastrous if he'd gone for an inside dive there at Blanchimont. Is he going to go for the chicane? He's committed to the inside line, but no. Again, he realises he just does not have the additional speed he needs. This is a defensive masterclass. But Jameson does look like he's beginning to gain a bit of ground on them. Let's see the lap times this time around. Before we check on Nick Bailey, who's caught the back of Aaron Large. 31.3, 31.4, 30.1. 1.5 seconds nearly that Jameson gained. He's getting back involved in it. He could be just biding his time. He realises that he doesn't need to be involved in the battle as yet. Let's just check in with Nick Bailey. On the back of the yellow and white BMW of Aaron Large. Is that Matt Webb? That's Matt Webb already ahead of them. Oh, Nick's going to go for that inside line. Is he? That's close. He has committed to it. Aaron's seen him coming. Oh, but Nick was forced a little bit onto the apex, and they managed to live to fight another day. Side by side now over the line. This is a battle for 7th place. And no, Nick can't do anything about it. He's still fighting. Jameson is still lurking there. He hasn't gone far behind. Jay Daniels is in the pits now. Through goes Callahan. Now I didn't see the move, unfortunately. Apologies there, Nick. But he's managed to nail Aaron Large as the cameraman gets lost again. Through La Source, or from La Source, I should say, before they get to Eau Rouge. Nicely done. Down towards the Fanny chicane once again for these warring two. Oh, steady. That was a lot of slidey ways for the BMW. Now, you do need a bit of slide in the Beamer. I'm not sure Gillon was looking for that much, but again, you can see how he's positioned his car right in the middle of the road. He's doing enough defensive manoeuvre to keep Brendan Van Heeden behind him, but equally not scrub off too much speed. Here's a fight forming. It's still the battle for 7th, but they've gained a few. Aaron Large still has it. Matt Webb. Now Carl Benson is involved in it. Fantastic stuff. A great fight forming there. Oh, that was something flying off into the atmosphere. I don't think it was from Brendan's car, or Andrew's car for that matter. As we are fast approaching the halfway stage of this race, these two have been absolutely glued together. 30.7, 31.1, 30.1 for Jameson. So yet again, Alex Jameson closing in almost within a second when they come through La Source. I keep having to switch to the bonnet cam because the cameraman just gets lost, unfortunately. On the board with Matt Webb, there is Carl Benson ahead of us, so he's managed to fly past him as he chases off after Aaron Large. Here is McRae Williams on the back of Adam Bent. So that's a battle for 11th. Lots of penalties. We'll go through them in a minute. It should be safe to go through them. Let's have a look. So still 2 seconds for Brendan. Another pit stop for David Garside. 4 seconds for Carl Benson. 1 for Matt Webb and Chris Callahan. 3 for Adam Bent. 1 for Jay Daniels. 4 seconds for Simon Williams. 20 still for Alex Rhodes and Adam Davies, but they can be appealed depending on what they were for or how they were recruited. David Garside, whose day just gets worse and worse as he's in the pits again. Ooh, wow, that was close. I think Brendan had to slam on the anchors a little bit there. And they have got, that is Adam Davies ahead of them. The Sienna Viper himself. And there's Alex Rhodes at the bottom of the shot. There's our leaders coming in, so again, that reshaping BMW from Adam. He's going to have to deal with these, well, potentially these three in a very short succession. Oh, that's a good run from Brendan, but can't use the extra pace down towards Stavilo. And Brendan knows not to try and make a useless move. Again, you see the different lines that Andrew was taking coming through curveball frame. I know it's a flat-out right-hander, but you saw Andrew go for the later apex, whereas Brendan went for the smoother line. It's working for both of them at the moment. A little bit of a lift off the gas there for Brendan. Oh, Davies, get out of the way! And he does. Nicely done. Oh, that's put Gillon off! Oh, that was close. That was right. I don't think we need the speeder there anymore. Oh, as Adam Davies jumps off the road for Alex Jameson to come through. That got very close between the Scotsman and the South African there. Well, our South African pair, indeed, our second and third. And Jameson now starting to get the proxy warning on. And jumping down to this about of a 7th. Was now about of a 6th. As Benson has gone past Aaron Large, who have, and both of them in turn, have caught on the back of Nick Bailey. So there's a great three-way scrap forming there. Oh, cameraman! We definitely need to fire the cameraman. Oh no! Brendan's had a problem. He's had to back off. He had the fastest lap of the top 3, but look at the gap. He's now basically just thrown himself right into the clutches of Alex Jameson. He's either had a bad run through well, he could have had a bad run through La Source. He's more likely had a problem through Eau Rouge and Radion, which has basically just caused him to back off. He doesn't want to add any more to his penalty tally. Oh, he has another technical problem, but I suspect it is the penalty count, which has basically thrown him right into the clutches of Jameson now. He's pulled away from him before. He's going to have to do it again. And that is the sigh of relief that Alex Gillon wanted. There's another battle for 6th that's dispersed a little bit. As that is the view from 7th place, Carl Benson. And Callahan has come in to serve his mandatory pit stop. Carl looks in fairly decent nick. A little bit of a scrape on the side. That won't be too bad. Oh my goodness me. So then whilst I looked away, Jameson has nailed Brendan Van Heeden for 2nd. Something has gone wrong. I can't believe it. Not again. Something has gone wrong for Brendan Van Heeden. He's dropped off badly from the back, so he must have hit something then. Oh, he's made mistake on mistake on mistake. The car looks okay. I can't see any obvious damage to it. It's a little bit difficult with the livery. He might have some damage to the front left. I think that's the livery though. Does he come in? This will be the big giveaway. Jameson does. Yes, he does. Oh no! He's hit the wall! Oh no! It's too exuberant coming into the pit. It's really, really tight. Pay lane entrance there. But Gillon has chosen to continue. Now, when they serve the pit stop, there's Alex Rhodes that is now a lap down. Well, so Alex will have that little bit of damage on the tail repaired, but I suspect, well, there he goes, he's already underway. I suspect that Mr. Gummy Bear, rather, is going to be in there a while. Oh, my goodness me. Brendan Van Heeden. What else can he do? What else can he do to have a good race? Jameson back on the road in 3rd position. Well, that was actually a lot quicker than I was expecting. Now, you can set your pit strategy. You can tell your pit crew to either do damage, not do damage, or what have you. I think he probably has had the damage repaired. It wasn't particularly extensive. He just lost so much time. Gary Cooper is now up into 4th. I'm not entirely sure if Gary Cooper's had his pit stop, though. Matt Webb is in, and Simon Williams is in. And Toby Owen is now up into second position. I suspect Toby hasn't had his pit stop though. But enjoy it whilst you can, sir. Gillo continues now completely on his own. And it looks like Mr. Mazda Ron, Aaron Large, is still pestering the back of Nick Bailey for 7th place. Carl Benson, who was in this fight, is... There he is. You just see him go through Lecom. He's a good couple of seconds ahead, or 2.5 seconds indeed, of Nick Bailey. So he's really doing well to get away. And out of the pits comes Matt Webb. Good stop for him. Car looks pretty clean, so no obvious damage to the Renault. He comes out in 9th place. That's McRae Williams with a slightly less clean car being chased. Well, chase is probably the wrong word. That's David Garside behind him. And the Welsh liveried Adam Bent brings his car in for his pit stop. Where's Gillo? He's chosen to continue again. We are well over the halfway stage of the race now. What about Mr. Black Sheep, Toby Owen, as that's Alex Rhodes getting out of the way. Nicely done. We've lost another from the race, unfortunately. And in comes Alex Rhodes. Let's... Toby Owen continues. Jameson now. Now this lap time won't be indicative of anything. Oh, way too high into the chicane. My goodness, Alex Jameson. But with the issues that Carl Benson has had, Carl Benson, beg your pardon, with the issues that Brendan Van Heeden has had, but Brendan in 5th position now, behind Gary Cooper, although he was catching Gary Cooper until Gary went into the pits. There's Alex Rhodes, he's in that, so that gives Brendan 4th, but that's scant consolation considering he was pressuring for the lead. But we'll see what he can do. He's 15 seconds behind Alex Jameson with 10 laps to go. We will see. Well, there you go. You can see in the out laps, it's really very skewed because it really depends on where the pit stop happened in relation to the timing line, as we continue to apparently look at David Garside. Nick Bailey's in. The Scuzzle number 29 has brought his car into the pits. As Andrew Goodine continues to... That's Chris Callahan, I think. Yes, it is indeed. Chris is expecting Alex to appear, judging by that line, but he's a little bit too far away. I would imagine Chris will get out of the way. Yep, there you go. He's gone to the inside line. Very nicely done. Bled out of the throttle and through the BMW goes unhindered. Now it's going to be these lap times that are going to be most indicative of where Gillo now sits alongside the now pitted Jameson and Van Heeden. That is not what Brendan needed. A wildly appearing Mercedes in the form of Kev Straw. And he's managed to dispatch of the Merc though. Through into, well, not through into anything, he's just put a lap on him. He has gained some time on Jameson though, judging by that time in Delta, and Gillo continues still not doing his pit stop yet. He's absolutely fine, he can do it as late as the penultimate lap if he so chose to. His call entirely. And Owen hasn't done his pit stop either. So 2:30.8 on the board for Gillo. Put that in comparison to Toby Owen, 33.2. Now we saw Jameson have that big moment. Well, that was down in... Was that down in the chicane last time? I've already forgotten. Again, such is my memory. A 31.2. So still decent lap, but off the pace of what Gillen is doing at the moment as Adam Bent is coming to the pits again. Oh dear. Yeah, the car looks alright, so... Why he's coming again, I do not know. That time for Van Heeden, a 32.1, but we did see him have to navigate traffic last time around. A little bit of a lock-up into La Source. He's lost a second on Jameson that time around. Let's have a look at where everybody currently stands, pit stops or not. Andrew Gillone leads by 20 seconds over, if the cameraman would care to stop looking at the birds and the trees. And there is Toby Owen, car number 42. Alex Jameson, from looking like he was going to finish outside of the podium positions, he's now 16 seconds within it, though he is some 31 seconds off of the lead, but he has pitted. Gillone has not. Our top three without penalty as well. Brendan Van Heeden was challenging for the lead, but finds himself now 47 seconds off of the lead. As a reminder, our leader has not pitted it as yet. 2-second penalty for Brendan, which he picked up early on but hasn't added to, in fairness. Carl Benson, solid run for him so far. Finds himself in 13 seconds behind Brendan Van Heeden and in a solid 5th place in the Leeds Sim Racing Renault. Aaron Large, as a late joiner to the league. A decent effort there, 6th position in the BMW. 2:35.7 last time around. He's some 10 seconds off the back of Van Heeden. Gary Cooper, there he is in the red Renault. Rather minding his own business there in 7th position. He has got Nick Bailey a little way behind him. There he is, the Scuzzle number 29. And Toby Owen has brought his car into the pits. And Webb in 9th place. Again, rather minding his own business. Most of the drivers are rather spread out and on their own. That's an exceedingly reshapen Renault, but McRae has been through the pits, so the actual damage may well be repaired, but the physical shell is still rather battered. Jay Daniels with a wild David Garside rub right behind him. He's about 10 seconds ahead of Chris Callahan. There he is in the 49 car. And there is the Sienna Viper Adam Davies. Again, rather minding his own business. Reshaped his car early on. Kev Straw doing what he can in the Mercedes. There is Toby Owen coming out right in front of him. And there is Carl Benson right behind them. A potential battle for 4th then appearing. Only 3 seconds, less than that, between the two Renaults. There you can just see the what was at the top of the shot. Toby Owen, Kev Straw with a lapped car. There's the damn cameraman again. That's so. Carl Benson can definitely see 4th, only 2 seconds ahead. And there you go. That's what it looks like from the off-board shot. Alex Rhodes, not been his ideal day in the office. Car number 10 continuing to do some not bad lap times, 2:32. But his position not showing his talent, as there is Adam Bent in the 2nd Mercedes. And the many times lapped, sadly, David Garside still minding his own business there. In fact, now look at the lap times of that 31.3 from Gillone last time around. He lost about, what did he do, 9-ish? No, a bit less than that, about 7/10 of a second. From, between himself and Jameson. 30.9 on the board for the leader, but of course he doesn't want to keep losing time to Jameson, as Andrew Gillone still has to serve his pit stop. I suspect he's the only one that has to. That sounds like someone going very slow, but then we do have, on camera, we do have the chicane coming up, as you can see. Jameson pushing hard as he always does to try and close in that gap between himself and Andrew Gillone. A little bit of damage on the back of the car was probably enough to unsettle him. And again, that's another 0.6 of a second to Jameson's favour. This race is not done yet, as that's Jay Daniels right ahead of Andrew Gillone. He needs to get out of the way, and does so on the exit late comp. Not really anything Jay could have done there. The only thing that Jay could have done was brake much earlier on the Camel Straight, but there's no obligation for any driver to lose masses of time to let a leader through. You just mustn't. You must be shown to get out of the, make an effort to get out of the way or to slow down to let them through. Aaron Large is in. A little bit of damage to his car, but nothing too excessive. So, presumably, he's one of the few that had yet to pit. It's Gary Cooper. It's going to come through to take 6th spot. And there is McRae Williams in 10th place. Bailey now up to 7th. Let's hope for Aaron's sake his pit stop is not too long. Here comes Matt Webb to claim 8th position if Aaron can't get going again. Now less than 30 seconds between Gillone and Jameson. Surely Andrew Gillone is going to be thinking about making his pit stop soon. Does he do so this time? Let's see. No. Interesting. You cannot go to the end. You're not allowed, sir. I do hope he realises that. I do hope that Mr. Gillone does know that he has to serve a mandatory pit stop. Hopefully the amount of pit stops he would have seen by now would be a bit of a clue. And I've just seen the gap between Jameson and Van Heeden. Holy moly, that's now up to 20 seconds. Where on earth has Van Heeden's pace gone? Oh, Jay Daniels. Speaking of Jay Daniels and McRae Williams, they're now in a bit of a scrap for 10th. Last lap, well, certainly 2 seconds in Jay Daniels' favour. So the scrap may be a bit of an optimistic term, but it is still a pass for position between Jay Daniels and McRae Williams. Both in the pro category. So it's definitely for points. A bit deep there for McRae coming through Rivage. Very, very close. We are in the final quarter of the race. Just 6 to go. And still not having pitied. He lost another 0.8 of a second to Jameson. I think Jameson absolutely flying now with that little bit of damage he had previously repaired. And Gillone would certainly have lost time getting past those back markers. There's another one for him to have to contend with in the form of Adam Bent. That's the view from Jay Daniels. Smooth line on the exit of Stavelot. No curve, Paul Frey. Easy flat out for these cars. And now for Francorchamps. Is Jay Daniels going to try and banzai on the inside of the chicane? He's a little bit too far back realistically to try it. And there you can see Gillone at the top of the shot. Under 28 seconds. Oh, that's wide for Daniels. He's either going to get a penalty for that or have to slow down. And that is Adam Bent. Couldn't quite see because the camera was a little bit too close. That's Adam Bent, and he spun it. Oh, he's jumped off the road. Either way, because he did have several people that he had to let through. So, fair play, Adam Bent. And that's cost Gillone badly. 31.6 for him now. And as you can see, Jameson only just catching the tail of David Garside. So Jameson's had clear track, and David Garside doing absolutely the right thing and hitting the brakes well before the chicane. Ooh, don't be too greedy on the gas there, Alex. Let's see what his lap time is this time around. There's a 30.32. He's gained 1.3 seconds this time on Andrew Gillone. My goodness. When Andrew serves his pit stop. Oh, Daniels. Unless Gillone served it early on, I've completely forgotten. Pretty sure he didn't, though. Okay, Daniels all over the back of McRae Williams. Again, judging by the last laps, that's 1.6 seconds in Daniels' favour. Down the hill once again through No Name Corner, down towards Pouon. Somebody I didn't quite see who that was at the top of the shot. Yes, it was still Andrew Gillone. That's a way to take the corner, McRae, but not a very successful way of taking Pouon. As Jay Daniels now through, I think that is Andrew Gillone at the top of the shot. It was indeed. I think Jameson's lost time this time though, because he was definitely under 28 seconds last time. And there we go. It's just as I say it, it's ticked under 27 seconds, under 28 seconds as Alex Rhodes is in the pits again. Oh no, that's gone horribly wrong for Alex Rhodes. That is pretty disastrous. He's hit the pit wall on the entry. That's going to see him in there for a long time. Will the Scotsman get his pit crew to use this time? Nope. McRae still trying to hang on to the back of Jay Daniels, but I think that's going to be a little bit optimistic, judging by the lap times. Again, I mean no disrespect, just purely judging by the lap times we've seen. McRae with that very battered Renault. 33 for Jay, a 36 for McRae. That's not really going to go his way, is it? There's Callahan. Who's he got catching up behind him? That's not someone catching him. That is Adam Bent. Yes. Where is Jameson? There he is, just coming over the line himself. So still no one ahead of him. Look at that, just completely clear track. And another 1.2 seconds to Jameson's favour. Gillone's got to come in. Well, he's got to come in anyway, but he's losing. He won't be faster, but he won't be taking tyres. At least I wouldn't expect him to take tyres with only 3 laps to go. I'm just hoping that Andrew Gillone hasn't forgotten or does know that he has to serve a pit stop. I've seen it before, not in Andrew Gillone, but I have seen drivers forget a mandatory pit stop. You know, complete the race, think they've won by quite a healthy margin, to later be disqualified. So I really hope that the number 55 car is aware that he has to bring that car in to the pits. No fuel should be added. He has done it before. He's pitted very, very late in order to make the fuel entry very light, even though fuel usage isn't on. Nope, he's still got 36.6 litres in the car. I suspect that's what he's doing, but we will see. As that, I believe... was it Aaron? It was Aaron Large we saw going through the shot. So that's next one in the sights of the Gillone. The Gillone team. Yep, that was a terrible one, I'll grant you. Miles away. So Gillone won't be losing any time to the back of Aaron Large at the moment. That camera shot is way too close. And he still hasn't come in. There is still time though, but it is running out. Jameson has been piling in the absolutely storming laps as he is going to catch at a brilliant time. Nicely done, Adam Bent. That's going to cost Jameson absolutely nothing as he sweeps through Blanchimont, heading towards the chicane. Ooh, don't get it. Again, that tail getting a little lively coming through the chicane. The 31.4 from Andrew. And that is a 30 flat from Jameson. 1.4 seconds. And more traffic for Andrew Gillone to have to deal with. No one is close to anyone else at the moment. The closest one, as far as I can see, judging by the timings, would be Carl Benson on the back of Turbio. And whoops, a little bit of dust being kicked up on the exit of Blanchimont. I can certainly show the penalties. Rebecca Bland, welcome to you. And there they are. So still 2 for Brendan Van Heeden, 5 for Toby Owen, 4 for Carl Benson, 1 for Matt Webb, 3 for Jay Daniels, 2 for Chris Callaghan, 20 I suspect is going to be appealed for Adam Davies, 4 for Adam Bent, and 20 for both Alex Rose. 20 for Alex Rose and 2 for David Garside. 3 to go, or 2.5 to go now. What will Gillone choose to do? At this pace, Jameson is certainly in the pound seat, but also there is still logic to Gillone's thinking. He wants to make that pit stop as short as possible. I wouldn't be surprised if he came in at the end of the next lap, so he did 1 complete lap post stop. That makes the stop as short as it can possibly be. He might do it now, as he's got 2 back markers ahead of him. In form. That's actually the closest battle we've got outside. Well, that's the closest battle we've got full stop. There it is Matt Webb and Aaron Large. Yep, in he comes. I thought he might. I think he was looking to put it on the penultimate lap, but with those 2 back markers right ahead of him, he was like, nope, I will lose too much time fighting my way through them. So he's trying to make the pit stop as short as possible. I don't think it's going to be enough. In my honest opinion, I think Jameson is going to nail this. But let's see how quick it is. We haven't seen Andrew hit anything or be hit by anyone. So this should be pretty quick, and it's very quick indeed. But there is Jameson. Can't see over the wall, unfortunately. Oh, Gillone, it's going to be close. It is going to be close. Gillone is going to be off the pit lane limiter now. Now, there he is. But Jameson's already going to be up to speed. Oh, we've got a 2-lap battle for the lead. Jameson's got the momentum and Gillone knows it. So Gillone's going to slot in behind Alex Jameson, but that is very close. Alex Jameson has been putting in the lap times leading into now. That's the wrong BMW. That's the one I wanted to look at. Gillone in the slipstream of Alex Jameson, who it did look like he didn't have an answer for the top 3. Or didn't have an answer for the top 2, I beg your pardon, in the early part of the race. But has been putting in the brilliant lap times when he's needed to, and that's a bit too sideways for Jameson. But holds on to it. I did think we might have a battle for the lead, and that is exactly what we've got. And with additional Chris Callaghan thrown in for good measure, as Jameson's really deep coming through Rivage. Gillone he knows where he is quick, but Alex Jameson is an amazing racer in any and every way we've seen many, many times over. Oh, and that's Chris Callaghan getting very much out of the way. But that's probably put Jameson off. Here comes Gillone. Oh, that was nearly about between the two. Side by side as they come down to the Fanny chicane. Oh, and the amazing stuff. Gillone, I thought he was going to try and stay in that. But no, he knows that one was not really going to end up with anything other than a painful mess. So he slots in behind again. Unbelievable stuff. And the penultimate lap, Alex Jameson has taken the lead as Aaron Large has overtaken Matt Webb for 8th position. The two the two tribes go to war. It's South Africa versus Scotland. Not that that's ever happened in a sporting context before, as we've lost another from the race, unfortunately. And Gillone knows he can't do anything there. Oh, Jameson's gone deep in the chicane, but Gillone can't do anything about it, though. Final lap. Nothing separating the two beamers. Who's got fastest lap, incidentally? Let's have a quick look at that. It's actually Brendan Van Heeden, as Gillone tries to get the cutback underneath Jameson. Doesn't manage it this time, but he's in a great opportunity now, a great position to slipstream on the Camel Straight. Here we go. Down the hill. Eau Rouge. Radion. Keep the cars under control. Oh, Gillone's a little bit wide, but manages to keep it. No penalties for either. There was no way he's not getting slipstream. Jameson nails himself to the inside line. There's not a lot of slipstream there. Gillone, is he going to get side by side? He's committing to the move. Outside of the first part of Lacon. Little bit of impact between the two. And Gillone. Oh. Well. That may have sealed the deal. Little bit of impact between Jameson and Gillone. Goodness me, that was close. But that little bit of unsettling from the Scottish car has given Jameson 1.5 seconds gap. That is likely to be enough unless Jameson bins it on this final lap. Well. That's that's been quite a battle forming, but sadly over all too soon. But Alex Jameson through the finish chicane leads now by 1.1 seconds down to Stavolo. He knows what he has to do. And Gillone will know he will press on, but he knows that it's unlikely now. Through Curve Portfray and down to Blanchimont for the final time. My goodness. An hour's racing, 24 laps, and the gap at the top is less than a second. On the exit of Blanchimont to the chicane for the final time. No back markers in the way. And if anything, Alex was probably a little early on the brakes there, but it doesn't matter. Your winner here in Spa. Fantastic win, but what a drive from Gillone. It's Alex Jameson. Very nicely done. Andrew Gillone chases him home for second place. And a distant third. Brendan Van Heeden, but a finish nonetheless for the South African. How long has this been coming? It could have been different. He was challenging Andrew Gillone for a long time before his stop. Something went wrong and he lost a whole lot of time, but a flash of the lights nonetheless. Brendan Van Heeden finally sees... Oh, that's Adam Davies in the background. He's just spun his car. Toby Owen is going to take fourth. And there is Carl Benson, 5th place. And Gary Cooper, some distance down in 6th position there. He is very much on his own. But a clean car nonetheless, a steady drive for Gary to take what is going to be 6th place overall. That's not what I meant to do. Well. As you also have a few things to look at tonight, but overall, a very enthralling race. Nick Bailey, 7th position. There's Aaron Large. It was debutant, I think it was last time out. What a car to debut with the Mercedes, the classic Mercedes. He's going to take 8th place. Unless he has some kind of very unusual mare in the closing stages, which can happen. Here he comes. We started with 21, 16. Whoops! Here's me, commentator, cursing someone. And 8th place for Aaron Large. Chased home by the AM winner of Matt Webb in the 17 car. Jay Daniels is coming through the chicane to take 10th position. 9th overall in the pros. Chris Callahan is going to be 2nd in the AMs. And we saw him sideways was Adam Davies. I'm mixing up everybody's name to whole apologies. But it is indeed Alex Jameson that takes the win by a very narrow margin over Andrew Gillone. And then it is Brendan Van Heeden with the fastest lap by 3 thousandths of a second from Andrew Gillone. My goodness me. Very nicely done. Toby Owen 4. Carl Benson 5th, Gary Cooper 6th, Nick Bailey 7th, Aaron Large 8th, Matt Webb 9, Jay Daniels 10th, Chris Callahan 11th, Adam Davies 12th, Kev Straw 13, Adam Bent 14, David Garside 15th. We lost Sean Morton. We lost quite a few drivers, but Sean Morton was one of them. Oh my goodness me. What a race we have had. Shall we see who wants to have a chat with me? No one does at the moment, which is fine. They don't have to. It is not obligatory to have a chat with our drivers. If they wish to have a chat with me, we tend to want to chat to our featured drivers. And there was me saying no one had come forward, and our race winner has just jumped in with me. Hello to you, Alex Jameson.
Hello. Yep, that was a tough one.
My goodness me. Now, I was surmising that in the beginning part of the race, before your stop, when Andrew Gillone and Brendan Van Heeden were having their fight, were you holding back or were you struggling to keep up with them?
To be fair, their pace was absolutely rapid at the start. I don't know, I just wasn't in the zone, and I kind of thought it was best just to sort of hang back and do a little bit of tyre saving if possible. Obviously, I'd planned on taking the same set of tyres through the entire race. So yeah, definitely holding back a little bit, but obviously didn't want to leave too much of a gap either. So it was it was a really tricky situation. They were just genuinely really, really fast. So yeah, it was tough to judge sort of how much I could conserve and how much I could sort of chase them.
Well, didn't you put the laps in the middle stint? Do you feel it sort of came down to that, or was it a mixture of Mr. Gillone getting caught up, or what do you think happened? A mixture of both elements that's brought you the win?
So I don't know obviously what his laps were like in that period. Obviously I got some free space, and yeah, everything sort of started settling down. Made a few adjustments to the brake bias, which definitely sort of brought the car towards me. And yeah, then was just able to put in some decent laps. I still obviously not as quick as them, I don't think, but obviously in the middle stint on the worn tyres, I was obviously fast enough. I don't know if Andrew ran into some traffic or had any issues like that, but yeah, it was just sort of trying to put together the perfect laps.
He did have some, certainly, but yeah, your lap times in that middle stint were absolutely storming. So with only
I was, focusing
2 rounds to go, hand on the trophy? Or still not thinking about that?
You know what? I won't even tempt fate. You never know what can happen. Look at last race, for example. So, yeah, I'll just keep both feet on the ground for now.
Excellent stuff. Well done once again, and good luck for the remaining rounds of the season. Thank you very much, Alex Jameson.
Cool, thank you very much.
Right, we have our AM class winner with us this time around. Hello to you, Matt Webb.
Hello, how are we doing?
Oh, well, yes, that was quite the race. Talk us through it from your side. We didn't see a huge amount of you, but you had intermittent fights throughout the race. Talk us through it from your side.
Generally, I just tried to stay out of trouble, if I'm honest. I generally get caught up in quite a few incidents and take quite a lot of damage, so I just thought I'd hold back and try and be consistent, and it seemed to pay off.
Didn't it just getting away with the class win? I think a few of you dropped out, but then all part of racing, taking advantage of issues from other people. In fairness, what was the difference in mindset for this race over the sort of the 3 15-minute races? Did you approach it in any different way?
To be totally honest with you, I actually practiced less for this than I normally do, so I didn't have time. So I came in a bit under-prepared, so I just thought I'd just take it easy and see what happens. But luckily for me, a couple of people ahead of me disconnected, so that sort of helped me out. Yeah, I don't really know what happened there. It's a bit of a fluke.
So the remaining rounds, Bono and normal Silverstone, what are your thoughts towards those?
Silverstone should be okay. Bono, I've never driven that track, so I'm going to have to practice a lot for that one.
I like it, but that doesn't really account for anything.
No, I'll see how I get on. I'll have to put a lot of practice in and see how it goes.
Good luck for that, and good luck for the remainder of the season. Thank you very much. Matt Webb.
Yep, thanks a lot. Cheers.
Right then. Speaking of those that had problems, the one that had the most problems, I think it's fair to say, is also with us in the interview box. Mr. Garside, are you here? He is, but with a muted microphone, however.
Hello, sorry, I was only there just to listen out. I was only here to be nosy, to see how the other guys were things. So thank you very much for welcoming me in.
Oh, pleasure. Pleasure. We haven't, I don't think we've had a chance to have a chat with you.
No, we haven't.
Well, you certainly gave your pit crew a good practice run.
I know.
Many practice runs.
I thought they'd need a good set of practices. Now I'd had a limited amount of practice on the track, and it's a difficult track to learn.
Oh yeah, it is.
So yeah, I ended up hitting. I had a big moment coming out of Eau Rouge, ended up in the wall, then lost it on one of the other bends, and then also coming in just into the bus stop, I lost it and ended up flipping over, which was probably looked quite good on replay, I would imagine. So that'll be an interesting one. Certainly was one I'd rather be in a sim racer than a real racer for.
Somewhat. You're from the real. You're from the real world contingent, are you not? As far as racing is concerned.
Yes, I am. I race in the 750 Motor Club Clio Championship. So yeah, that's my. Well, I'd like to say it's my forte. I'm fairly midfield in that one as well. But I've only had my yards just over a year, so it's fairly new to me. From the it's a big jump from the realms of track days to proper racing. But yeah, it's been fun so far.
Does the Clio racing prepare you at all for what you're going through at the moment with the VTCC?
What with the sim? No, it's a completely different kettle of fish. I think because I'm probably one of the older generation anyway with regards to the sim racing and probably on the real racing as well. It's so much more for me the feel of the car through the back of the seat, through the steering wheel, which with force feedback you get a little bit. But you don't get that true immersion that you get with real racing, and I think that's where the good moments I have when I'm real racing is from the fact that I've got a fair amount of experience driving fast and I can feel the car and I certainly connect with it. Whereas with the sim racing, I feel much more disconnected. So yeah, it's certainly one with the sim racing. It benefits you a lot more with getting a lot more practice.
Fair play, can't argue with that at all. Thoughts heading towards the final couple of rounds?
Looking forward to Brno. It's a track when I first got into Project Cars, which was only at the beginning of lockdown. That was a track I was driving the single seaters around, doing the sort of the career path on Project Cars. So I know the track quite well. So I'm confident I'll go in that one, and the same with Silverstone National. I know the national track very well, so hopefully that will benefit me. But with most of my sim driving, it's just consistency. If you look at the records, I've got I think 2 or 3 times I've managed to get fastest lap and AM pole, the amateur pole, but it's just never converted to a good race at the end of it. So yeah, a bit more consistency and a bit more practice, hopefully.
Best of luck with that, and we look forward to seeing your progress in the final 2 rounds. Thank you very much, David Garside.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We have one last person to speak to, and I really hope he is a yes, he is. Brendan Van Heeden, you've done it!
Thank you. It's about time. My luck so far, eh?
Oh, goodness me. You were challenging for the lead. Does it feel still bittersweet to come home in third?
No, look, so far with my luck, I'm quite happy to take a third. Couple mistakes during the race, almost got taken up by someone spinning. Luckily he made it through. Luckily I made it through, but then that gave Jameson a run on me, so there wasn't much chance of me defending from that. And then I made a stupid mistake on going into the pit entry and I hit the wall, so that put me right back and gave me damage.
If it's any consolation, somebody else did it worse.
Oh, there we go. And look, I had fun. It was a draw, and hopefully with this new livery, it's given me some good luck. And let's see how the rest of the season goes. Yeah.
So, looking forward to Brno?
I am actually. I actually like the circuit quite a bit. It is a tire killer for the Renaults, but yeah, it should be interesting. Silverstone, I'm looking forward to even more because of my lap record I have there.
Excellent. So everyone else has quite a tall target to meet then.
I hope. like prevailing, yeah.
Let's see if I can get away with saying it. We wish you the very best of luck, good sir.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the commentary. Eh?
Pleasure. Thank you very much, Brendan Van Heeden.
Cheers.
And that is going to be it for this evening. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream and those that have caught up with us later. A great pleasure to have you on board. Thank you very much to our drivers for putting on an amazing show. And thank you very much to the organisers for keeping the train going. Without any of them, we literally would not be here. As mentioned, we will be at Brno next time out. I have no doubt that is going to be fantastic. We'll return to the standard 3-race setup for that. So please do join us for that. Until then, thank you very much and good night.